Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a look into the online landscape around fisting gay.
Yeah, we scan through Reddit, TikTok, YouTube podcasts, basically trying to get a sense of what's out there.
And it's interesting, right? Because you find stuff on BDSM generally and gay sexual health topics.
But dedicated content specifically on fisting gay, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, less visible than you might expect.
Exactly. Which makes you wonder, why that is, or maybe where those specific conversations are happening, if not on these main platforms.
It definitely raises questions about maybe how it's discussed, or if it's just folded into broader anal sex topics within the gay community online.
So let's start with Reddit. We found for fisting, which is like a general community, gives you a baseline maybe.
Right. A broader look at interests in fisting itself, not specific to gay men necessarily, but still useful context.
And then there's the much bigger RBDSM community, obviously crucial discussions there about safety, techniques, that kind of thing. Very relevant.
Definitely. That broader BDSM space provides that foundational knowledge, the norms around practice and safety that apply across the board.
We did see some other subreddits pop up, but they were mostly like gaming jokes or unrelated stuff using the term, so not really relevant to our focus here.
No, important to filter those out.
Okay, moving over to TikTok, what did we see there?
Lots of bottoming tips videos aimed at gay men. That clearly shows an active audience interested in, well, receptive anal sex practice.
Yeah, that's a big category there. And you see hashtags like hashtag gay and hashtag BDism being used together sometimes.
Exactly. Which suggests, an openness to discussing kink within that community on TikTok. It's not completely separate.
We saw that Norberto Presceno video mentioning the anvil.
Yeah, the historical angle, connecting to that history of open gay sexuality. Could be an interesting content angle itself.
And there's another one, Lucy Huxlux, promoting a kink Q&A podcast. So people on TikTok are looking for educational BDSM content too.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
But given TikTok's format, short, punchy videos probably work best.
Like quick safety tips, lube, listening to your body, that sort of thing. Or maybe super short technique snippets.
Precisely. Bite-sized information seems key there. Applying that model to fisting gay, focusing on one small safety point per video, could work.
Okay, YouTube. Now that's different. Tons of general BDSM content, right?
Oh, absolutely. A huge amount. It shows there's an established audience for BDSM material on YouTube.
And we flagged the Dom Subliving channel and podcast. They seem pretty successful in the BDSM content space.
Yeah, looking at their approach, their content strategy could offer some valuable insights through a known quantity.
Again, lots of irrelevant stuff popped up too. Gaming, satire.
But the key takeaway for YouTube is that the platform supports longer, more detailed content.
Right, like in-depth educational videos explaining things step by step, proper preparation, aftercare.
Or personal stories. You have more time to develop a narrative on YouTube compared to TikTok.
Which makes you wonder why, if the general BDSM audience is there, the specific fisting gay niche isn't more obvious.
Maybe it's hidden under broader search terms. Or maybe it genuinely is a gap. Dom Subliving sets a kind of benchmark for quality in that general space, though.
Then there are podcasts. Feels like a natural fit for deeper talks.
Oh, definitely. We saw things like Kink on the Brain, which focuses on education and destigmatizing BDSM. Super important work.
And Adventures of a Royal Pair in BDSM. That's more arsenal experience, right? People sharing their own D's lifestyle.
Yeah, that narrative approach.
Yeah.
And Meet the Kinksters is like a directory showing just how many kink-focused podcasts exist now.
We also looked closer at the Dom Subliving podcast again. Covers a lot of BDSM and kink topics.
But in the episode titles we checked, nothing jumped out as specifically fisting gay, which, again, points to a potential gap.
And Alexandra Madison from that podcast is a pretty recognized name, an expert in the BDSM community.
So the expertise is there in the podcasting world. It seems like the opportunity lies in those in-depth discussions, maybe interviews specifically within the fisting gay community.
Right. And briefly, we should mention other platforms. FetLife, obviously.
Huge for kink and BDSM social networking. You'd expect to find relevant communities there, people connecting over shared interests.
And even virtual worlds like Second Life, where BDSM gets explored too. Community spaces are clearly vital.
They really are. Finding your people, sharing experiences, it's a massive part of kink exploration for many.
So pulling it all together, what are the big themes we're seeing?
Well, safety comes up constantly. It has to. Safe words, negotiation, preparation, aftercare, it's paramount in BDSM content.
And demand for practical advice, techniques, like those bottoming tips but applied more specifically, perhaps.
Definitely. People want to know how, and personal stories really resonate. Sharing experiences seems very popular.
Understanding the language, too, the jargon, that's important for being part of the community.
And historical context adds depth. Plus, debunking myths is always necessary with BDSM.
So these themes, safety techniques, stories, community language, busting myths, they seem like the core pillars.
They really represent the key interests and, frankly, needs within the broader BDSM community, which likely apply here too.
Which brings us back to the potential gaps. It really does feel like specific, detailed content focusing just on fisting gay is, well, harder to find.
Yeah, less common than the general stuff.
And maybe combining those powerful personal stories with really solid practical safety and technique advice, that could be really valuable.
That seems like a strong possibility. So thinking about all this, what specific questions does this overview spark for you, the listener? Where do you see the biggest need or opportunity for more focused content on fisting gay?
Exactly. It's a fascinating area. This dive shows a community that's active, but this particular intersection might be, let's say, underserved online. Understanding the existing landscape is step one. Thanks for exploring this with us today.